CRT2, or take the call on 9th and Folsom.
Street Crisis 2 for 9th and Folsom.
My name is Lieutenant Jonathan Baxter. I am the Public Information Officer for the San Francisco Fire Department. What's the difference between EMS 6 and Street Crisis Response Team?
EMS 6 devotes almost all of our time on the top 100 most frequent users of our services. We're talking about people who use 911 100 to 200 times a year. The people that you might see in an ambulance one or more times per day. Just recently, we started our Street Crisis Response Team, which is an extension of our frequent utilizer mission. We're using the tools and experiences that we developed with EMS 6 and working with frequent 911 utilizers so that we are now helping people in the street that are experiencing behavioral crises.
Each rig carries a peer counselor, a behavioral clinician, and a community paramedic.
People with a mental illness and a mental health crisis are more likely to encounter harm than cause harm. People who work with people in crisis are trained to sort out threat from fear. Police are not social workers. They are not psychiatrists. They are not medical doctors. This is realigning different job duties to the most appropriate responder.
When someone calls 911 and the call taker recognizes that it is a behavioral health crisis, typically law enforcement responds, but we want Street Crisis to be the first responding unit. We really want to reduce or eliminate law enforcement from going to non-violent calls or behavioral or social crises in which no crime has taken place.
I think the people that spend time on the streets, the workers that spend time on the streets, they get to know people over time. And so I think having a street level approach where you have people who are really acquainted with what's going on in the street is really important.
Every response to 911 does not require a police response. And in fact, in a case of someone who's suffering from mental illness, it could make things a lot worse than they need to be.
This team patrols the streets, looking for people in need. 911 calls about nonviolent people in crisis are directed away from police to these specialists.
It's not just a technique of counseling or de-escalation, but a real person-to-person say, hey, I'm here to help. How can I help you?
Mental illness can affect anyone at any given time, so we need to treat it that way.
At the moment, there are 2 of these teams on the street.
The Street Crisis Response Team is responding to people in behavioral crisis that are nonviolent and have not committed a crime. If we encounter someone that is violent or in any way dangerous to us, we'll provide time and space, and if necessary, we will back off.
Street Crisis 2B16.
Street Crisis 2. Yeah, you can send us the marketing Castro call for review.
Message received, will do.